The wisest men never preached with pride, they taught with parables. Every man reaches a crossroads in life, where brute strength fails, where charm fades, where talent is no longer enough, and all that's left is character. It's in these moments that we don't need more information. We need ancient wisdom to guide you through confusion, pride, fear, and failure. The kind whispered across generations, not through lectures, but through parables. Welcome to the Stoic Spirit. Today, you'll hear 7 timeless parables that can make you a stronger, calmer, and better man. Stories meant to shape you, challenge you, and remind you that greatness doesn't shout, it listens. These are parables of the wise. Timeless lessons to help you become a better man. Let's begin. 1. The 2 Wolves, a Cherokee parable. A young boy once sat by a fire with his grandfather. He said, "Grandfather, I feel like there are 2 wolves fighting inside me. One is full of rage, jealousy, greed, and arrogance. The other is peaceful, loving, kind, and patient." The old man stirred the fire and said, "Yes, 2 wolves live in every man, and they are always at war." The boy asked, "Which one wins?" The grandfather replied, "The one you feed." Your mind is a battlefield. Every thought is either feeding your weakness or your strength. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You feed anger, it grows. You feed discipline, it grows. The war never ends, but the outcome is always in your hands. 2. The Farmer's Luck, a Taoist parable. There was once an old farmer. One day, his horse ran away. His neighbors said, "What bad luck?" He calmly replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors shouted, "What good luck?" "Maybe," said the farmer. Later, his son tried to ride one of the wild horses, and broke his leg. "Terrible luck," they cried. "Maybe," he answered again. A week later, soldiers came to take all the able-bodied young men to war. His son was spared. His neighbors gasped, "What luck?" The farmer only said, "Maybe." A Stoic does not label every event as good or bad. He simply watches, accepts, and adapts. Because fortune is unpredictable. You don't control what happens, but you do control how steady you remain. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept everything that comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" Don't panic. Don't celebrate too early. Stay grounded. 3. The Empty Cup, a Zen parable. A scholar came to a Zen master seeking wisdom. He spoke of all his knowledge, achievements, philosophies. The master said nothing. He simply poured tea into the scholar's cup. It filled, then overflowed, spilling onto the floor. "Stop," the scholar cried. "It's full." The master looked him in the eye and said, "Exactly. You are like this cup, full of your own opinions. How can I teach you unless you first empty your cup?" A man who thinks he knows everything cannot grow. Pride is a silent killer. It kills your curiosity, your humility, your evolution. Seneca said, "Even the wise need to learn." Be bold enough to be ignorant, and humble enough to unlearn. Empty your cup, then refill it with truth. 4. The Candle and the Wind, a Sufi parable. A small candle flickered in fear. It whispered, "If the wind blows, I will die." The wind answered, "If you burn with strength, I will carry your light across the sky." So the candle burned with all it had, and the wind didn't extinguish it. It spread its flame farther than it could ever reach on its own. Pressure isn't your enemy. It's your platform. Adversity doesn't come to kill you. It comes to stretch your reach, to test your intensity. Fire doesn't fear the wind, if it burns bright enough. The Stoics thrived under storms, because they were prepared for them. When the wind comes, don't flicker. Ignite. 5. The speck and the log, a biblical parable. Matthew 7 verse 3. A man saw a tiny speck in his brother's eye. He said, "Let me help you remove it." But he failed to see the log in his own. Jesus asked, "Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but pay no attention to the log in your own?" We're quick to judge, quick to correct, quick to point fingers, but rarely do we stop and ask, "What about me?" Before you measure another man's flaws, hold up the mirror. Before you correct others, discipline yourself. Clean your own house first. Then by example you help clean the world. 6. The elephant and the blind men, a Hindu parable. 6 blind men were brought to touch an elephant. One felt its side and said, "It's like a wall." Another touched the trunk and said, "No, it's a snake." The third felt its leg, "It's a tree." The fourth grabbed the tail, "It's a rope." The fifth touched its tusk, "It's a spear." The sixth held its ear, "It's a fan." They argued, each convinced he alone understood. But none saw the whole truth. A wise man knows he sees only a piece of the picture. The world is vast. Perspective is limited. Certainty is dangerous. That's why the Stoics practice silence before reaction. Observation before judgment. Because wisdom begins when you realize you don't know it all. Don't speak like you're always right. Speak like a man who's still learning. 7. The archer, a Stoic parable, inspired by Epictetus. An archer trains for years, chooses the finest bow, selects the best arrows, stands firm, breathes, and fires. But the wind shifts. The target moves, and he misses. Is he angry? No. Because the archer knows. His duty was to aim well, not to control the result. Your job is effort, not outcome. You don't control people. You don't control fate. You only control the strength of your shot. As Epictetus taught, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens the way it does, then you will be happy. Train hard. Aim true. Let go of the rest. These parables aren't ancient because they're old. They're ancient because they're eternal. Every man will wrestle with pride, anger, judgment, and misfortune. But only a wise man listens, learns, and lives the lesson. Feed the right wolf. Accept what comes. Empty your pride. Burn through the wind. Judge yourself before others. Admit you don't see it all. Aim true, then surrender the rest. That is the Stoic path. If this message struck something in you, don't leave in silence. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Because the world needs more men, not just of strength, but of wisdom. You're not alone on this path. We walk it together, one parable at a time.